it's under equations, sorry. And again, this seems to be something that people have a hard time grasping, but if you just follow the simple little steps and rules, it's really not so bad.
Do you have Aubrey's original drawing for the polling board?
I don't think so, actually. You should still have it.
Aubrey would have
I got the 3 that did make it sitting right
Oh.
here. Are you looking for a...
it. It's just somebody before Aubrey.
Oh, that's right. No, I don't know where that is. The one with all the 3 bells.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let me see if I can walk you through this. This is multi-step equations, which simply means it's going to take more than just one step. Ironically enough, we talked about this today. You asked the questions. Brant asked the question about it. Carter Westfall asked the question about it. Let me look and see what one of them was. Brant's was this one. 1.4x equals 84? Yeah. And he said I didn't get the right thing because I did whatever, but, equations, you do the opposite. This only took one step to solve. You divide by 1.4. You divide 84 by 1.4. Add a decimal, add a 0, move the decimal over, what is this? 6, and then you have to have it, what's 16? X equals 16. It only took me one step to solve that. The new equations you're going to get are going to be 2 steps. Really, they put more than one type of equation together. For example, let me find a good one. Examples are 2, by the way. 3x plus 5 equals 50. Actually, I'm going to do it on a different sheet of paper here. 3x plus 5 equals 50. Now, as you look at this, this is a combination of what? 2 types of equations. You only got choices of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. That's the only 2 types. It is it's multiplication here and it's addition there. So guess what you're going to do to solve it? The opposite of those 2, subtraction and division. It's a pretty simple little concept there. Now, here's the part where a lot of people get confused. If you remember when we solved this by substitution, or when we solved this by just looking at it, remember you did this, you said, well, what number when you add 5 to it gives you 50, right? Isn't that the first thing you did? And the answer to that was 45, which is the same thing you have to do when you have multi-step equations. Write this down. Unlike order of operations, which say you have to do multiplication and division first, when you solve equations, you actually are working backwards. So if you go backwards from order of operations, when you solve equations, you need to, the first thing you do is get rid of addition and subtraction stuff first. Get rid of adding and subtracting stuff first. Okay, because when you solve an equation, you're actually going backwards. You have the answer kind of, well, you have the answer, and you need to undo this is really what you're doing. So, if I were giving this problem, your first step would be to get rid of adding 5 by doing this. I subtract 5, I subtract 5. You end up with a 45 here, and then you get 3x equals 45. And then your second step is to get rid of multiplication and division. And as always, key highlights in your notes. Okay, you are always thinking of doing the opposite. Opposite. And 90% of the time, people, it's always going to look like this where you divide. 45 divided by 3 is 15. Does that work? Is 3 times 15 plus 5 give you 50? Yes. 3 times 15 is 45. 45 plus 5 is 50. It's just that easy. Just that easy. So, for example, let's do a little more complicated one. Where's the subtract? 4x minus 12 is 60. 4x minus 12 is 60. What will be the first thing I do? Carter Westfall.
You subtract 12 from 6.
I don't. You're thinking opposite. You're close, but you're a small operation away. This is subtracting 12. So what's the opposite of that, Carter Westfall? What's the opposite of subtracting 12? That's where you want to. You don't subtract 12, you actually add 12. So that gives you, God bless you. Miss Young. And then this is again, we end up with that same multiplication thing, which you solve by doing the opposite of that, which is dividing by 4. And if you took 4 times 18, you get what? 72 minus 12 is 60. Always. Kids, Miss Young has an announcement.
What's your announcement?
I do not. Nice hairdo for one. Thank you. That's my announcement. Did Mr. Hahn even notice? No.
I couldn't. Is that different than yesterday? See, I'm not a hair. I don't base people based on their hairs. Other people judge.
You're not
me.
observant. I'm observant.
I'm not a
That doesn't mean I'm basic.
Brand, did you do something different with your hair? Is it the same color as it was yesterday?
I just want to do like use baseball.
See, that's
You
where
find an error
Brand,
by
I'm like
chance?
you.
I used a new
Did you
conditioner.
How
Yeah,
can you
Oh,
solve
did
that?
it
I had
go?
to check.
I'm looking for a conditioner. Actually, I'm not a big conditioner person. It took me 45 years to realize how. Do you have shampoo bottles that you pour out with your hand when you do it?
Well, yeah.
It took me 45 years to realize. You know what I really like? I have the Tresemme pump, where I never have to tip the bottle upside down. I just go 2 pumps.
Oh, yeah, I have
Tresemme.
Never do I have to turn the bottle up. Never does it fall off the
Tresemme.
shelf because I put it on my hand and I dropped it in
I
the
tell you, I
thing.
just saw this really cool cap you can get, that you put it on the bottle, and it has like little feet on it, so you can stand up so it doesn't fall over.
Yeah.
And then you just squeeze it
I
and
just-
it's
And then I just use the same pump. I just buy the non-pump bottles and put the pump on it. It's all the same.
Tresemme.
I had the same pump now for like 5 years.
I use Tresemme,
I use Tresemme.
but I use just the big bottles and I pour it in.
I collect stuff from my
I use
house.
this
So I have
Tresemme.
But then you gotta, you have to either flip the top or unscrew the top. It's just it's on the thing and I go.
No, it's already, I have a
Oh,
thing
it's
in
on
my
the
shower,
bottom.
I have a thing, pocket thing in my shower that's already upside down, I just pull it out.
But this is a measured every time.
Perfect.
I don't get it. It's my shower is not story just on the same one. I guess like 5 different
I need to make up my, oh, so we should have been a little narrower. Mr. Hahn, at lunch, Tuesday's my day when I'm supposed to be there, which is a new person and making sure the kids are there on time.
Sure.
Somewhere
Well,
around
it's just up in your boat. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Alright.
I mean, I can work from there.
A lot of pressure on that. So, first day, Carter Westfall, did you see what the deal is with that? You gotta do opposite. Whatever it is, if it's subtraction, you add. If it's addition, you subtract. If it's multiplying, you divide. If it's dividing, you add. So here's your another example. X over 3 plus 4 equals 13. X over 3 plus 4 equals 13. 2 steps. The first step, you are going to do what, Brant?
Subtract 4.
Exactly, from both sides. So now x over 3 is going to equal 9. Second step, Carter Altenberg is?
Multiply 3 and 9.
Yeah, multiply by 3. Pretty simple little process here. That gets this to cross off, that gets that to cross off. X equals 27. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. It works. It's just that easy.
What was that?
Now, because they don't want things, God bless you, to be too terribly easy, here is something else they do. This becomes multi-step. This is where we crash and burn. You will notice the difference in this one between the first 3 that we did is that in the first 3, on the left of this equal sign, there was only 2 terms, and now we have 3, which is a bad deal. which means we have to add step number half. Because before you do adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, you need to see if you can combine, I thought you'd like that, Carter Westfall, like terms. So hopefully you have your like term head on your combine. Or as the book sees, and that's probably why they got away from the word combine, they call them, what do they call them? Collect. Yeah. What you could also do is collect, because there is such a thing as a collect. Which means this, children, okay, you can't do anything with 24. It's going to stay as it is for right now. But this side you can simplify or put things together with. What can I put together, Wade Davis?
7x and minus 12. Oh, sorry, 7x.
You have an x and an x here. You can put those together. If you have 7 x's and you take 1 x away, Wade, you're left with 6 x's. And then the minus 12. Then it becomes just like the one we just did. In which case, Faith, the first thing I'm going to do is
You are going to
add what?
24.
No. Well, what am I going to add? 12, right?
Yeah, 12.
I want to get rid of this 12, do the opposite, add 12. That gives me 36. 6x equals 36. And solving it then becomes dividing by 6. Dividing by 6. X equals 6. And then we might as well see if this works. 7 times 6 is 42. Minus 12. Minus 6. Does that equal 24? 42 minus 12 is 30. 30 minus 6 is 24. 24 does equal 24. Each and every time we've done it. One more, just for good measure. I'll let you do this one. 4x plus 10 plus x equals 100. 4x plus 10 plus x equals 100. Tell me when thou dost get thy answer. Looks like we have some sort of a Jacob licked.
X equals 18.
X equals 18. Let's see if that works. First thing you should do is, because you got all these terms here, what can you combine? If you have 4 x's and add another x to it, you get 5 x's. Plus 10 equals 100. Subtract 10, subtract 10. So now you get 5x equals 90. Divide by 5, divide by 5. And I believe you are correct. That you can get. Everybody's relatively happy on that?